love of the game. This is LoveSetMatch.
I mean, Andre Agassi had this quote, you don't have to be better than everyone else in the draw when you go out on the court. Like, you have to be better than someone that's across the net.
I think you got to stay active in a sport sense, go out there, do some sports. I think it always makes you feel better. Maybe you're more tired in the very moment, but actually the rest of the day feels better. And then I think giving back as well, making other people happy is going to give you a good feeling too.
Hey everyone, Happy New Year and welcome to Tennis Pal Chronicles, the podcast to feed your passion for all things tennis. I am your host, Philip Kim, also known as Coach PK, the tennis pro for the Langham Huntington Hotel in sunny Southern California, and the exec director for the nonprofit LoveSetMatch. We're starting our brand new year with a brand new podcast, and I'm so happy that Valerie is with me. Please welcome my co-host, Valerie Garcia.
Hey, Philip. How's it going?
Great.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And of course, Happy New Year means the Australian Open is starting already.
What a dream.
Lots of tennis to kick off our year. Tennis Pal Chronicles is sponsored by Tennis Pal, the best app to find people to play with. And I really do mean it is the best app. So visit tennispal.com to download the app today. Val, you probably saw the scare that we had about Tennis Pal. Late October, early November, the owner and founder, Halle, she sent out a message saying that they might shut Tennis Pal down. That was their intention.
Yes.
And thankfully, she has reconsidered, and it looks like there was so much activity and people were super excited about the app that they're continuing to keep it going into the new year. We'll see how it goes. But we just want to really encourage everyone who's listening, if you haven't downloaded, please download. Please start interacting with the app. Start posting. It's a free app, so it costs you nothing, and you're really going to meet a lot of great people who play tennis. You can find people to play with in your area. Say you're traveling. You can find people all across the country. So really, really want to shout out to Halle and Tennis Pal. Keep going. We need you. So thank you so much for the whole team for being out there. Valerie, what do you think?
Yes. I mean, there's no reason why, first of all, if you listen to this podcast, you like tennis. And if you like tennis enough for that, you should be a Tennis Pal app user. It's the best. For me personally, I sometimes find, my friends that I've been playing tennis with for years, they have families and they get busy. And sometimes I just need someone to play with. I love the app. I've been using it for years, and I've never failed to be able to find really great people to play with. And for me personally, my favorite thing about the app always is that not only can I have nice filters where I find people who are local, but it tells me what days and times they're available. And I can also search by, ability level. Because some days, you're open for whatever, but some days you really might want to be challenged or be competitive and hit with somebody, your same level. And so it's just been a blessing for me to be able to have this tool. I will personally be very sad if it wasn't available to me anymore. And if you're not utilizing it and how are you finding people? You're probably not, and you're probably struggling. So use the app. It's available for iPhone and Android. Or any other, phone operating system that I'm missing.
And we need it. We need it, right? We need more apps like this, not less. So we really hope that it'll continue. And hey, I want to make a promise to you also that no matter what happens to Tennis Pal, the podcast is going to be here, right? Valerie and I are committed to doing a tennis podcast. And we really hope that Tennis Pal will continue to support and sponsor the podcast. But even if they don't, we'll keep going. If you'd like to support the podcast, just like Tennis Pal and the mission of our nonprofit LoveSetMatch, you can donate to us as well directly, that would really help. Donate a tax-deductible donation via Zelle, and you can find us on Zelle using the email aces@lovesetmatch.org, O-R-G. And speaking of ORG, Valerie, I'm excited that our new website is in development. We're really hoping that our website will be finished in the next month or two. And once that happens, hopefully it'll be a clear picture of what our mission is, what we're trying to accomplish, also a way for people to connect to us. And I just want to give a huge shout out for all the volunteers who are helping to build and design the website. We have so many people involved, Jolyn, John, Tiffany, so many great new people who are helping with the design, Erica. We have a great girl named Anisha who's helping with the day-to-day, and so many great things happening at the nonprofit, and really excited about what's going to happen this year at the nonprofit as well. So thanks for your support, everyone. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Philip, you people who don't know, Philip does so much amazing things for the community and the tennis community specifically. So love his nonprofit, love that this, is getting going and gathering steam, and it's just super exciting.
And what a blessing for me, like they always say, when you give, you get. And that's so true for me. I just feel like I get so much by being a part of this and helping to build community. So fun. And I get so much out of spending time with you doing this podcast. We're not going to quit, are we?
Never. I'll be talking about tennis in the grave.
That's right. And beyond.
Yes.
Because heaven is going to be tennis, right?
It's pretty much. You read my mind. That's exactly what I meant.
Well, and I'm really excited about your initiative, really just kind of taking this thing by the reins. Do you want to talk about that at all?
I think that you might be referring to the fact that, we just have had some conversations about what we'd like the podcast to look like. And of course, I love nothing more than to watch and follow and learn from and be entertained by the pro tennis tour. And it's some of my favorite episodes. I mean, I love all our episodes, but some of my favorite ones are just getting to talk to my BFF, Philip Kim, about the tennis tour.
Woo woo.
And so, the initiative on this end of the podcast for this year is committing to a nice scheduled podcast release in terms of, so we'll be making sure that we have content for you for all of the Grand Slams previews and review shows, as well as the Masters 1000s for the ATP and the WTA. We will have bonus episode for San Diego, the San Diego Open, just because it's local and we like to talk about our local tournament. And you know what, Philip, I did not put on our schedule that I will have to add is the Olympics this year.
Oh, wow. Is it Los Angeles this year? No.
Oh, no. Sorry. I don't know if I if I made it seem like that. I think it's in Paris, at least the tennis portion. Because they're actually playing it at Roland Garros.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Gosh,
yeah.
how big is that?
I don't really know how if he can get healthy.
Yeah.
But the Olympics is 3 sets, so never know. I feel like it's an open field.
And it is an open field, right? I mean, the winners of Olympic gold in the past have been very strange list of characters, right? Not people who you would expect, and it definitely doesn't follow the tour. So very interesting to see what's going to happen at the Summer Olympics for tennis. Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting.
Very
we have a
exciting.
nice full calendar this year.
Yeah. What a coup for Roland Garros to get it and to have it on clay this year.
Yes. Super exciting.
Super.
I love Olympic years.
But I was thinking, oh yeah, it is coming to LA. It must be in 4 years then, right? Because I know they're talking a lot about the plans and the building and parking and traffic and everything.
Yes,
they're
you're right.
already
You're
starting
right.
to talk about it.
Yeah, you are right. I think it must be 4 years because now that you're mentioning it, someone in Long Beach showed me where they're building all these new swimming pools for the Olympics. So
Yeah.
you are correct.
I wonder if that means that the Olympic tennis portion will be at like Indian Wells.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
Right? Because where else? There is no other place in SoCal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, that big, but unless they did it, they set up a court in some sort of stadium somewhere in LA. Either way, count me in. I'll be there.
Finally, it's coming to us, which is so great. Because there's really been a drought of tennis, professional tennis, high-level tennis in Los Angeles proper. Obviously, 2 hours away, we have Indian Wells, and we're so blessed to have that. But not since, like, the Farmers, I think, right, where they've had tennis here. I mean, we did just have the Patrick Mouratoglou series come through, but, yeah, not the same as classical tennis, I would say.
Yes, yeah, exactly. When there's no 1540, is it even tennis? They don't even have love, so it can't be tennis.
Yeah. Well,
it's just a racket sport with tennis balls.
But at least the same cast of characters in some sense, and I applaud the idea that they're at least trying to really get tennis to be a little hipper, a little faster, a little more accessible. That part of it is kind of cool.
Yes, it's as an exhibition, it's a very fun idea. Agreed.
But that's the closest we've had to tennis here in Southern California, besides like really great ITF, which actually we just had in Arcadia, the women's ITF tournament, which is just down the street, which is super cool. I think one of the days it got rained out, but how cool was that? And then, obviously we have some of the best college tennis in the world with having USC and UCLA here, which is so crazy that it's so under-attended.
Yeah, I think that's something I'd like to make maybe I'll make a New Year's resolution live on the air. That I would like to support our college tennis more. I love tennis. Why am I not at all the college matches? Just doesn't make sense.
Right. And not even just because we want to support college tennis, but the level that you get to see is insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
these people
so high.
are so good. Yeah.
Because we're talking D1, right? I mean, of course, there's like APU also has really great tennis, but I think that's D3. But D1 tennis at UCLA and USC is the highest level of college tennis right in our backyard. So it's kind of amazing.
Yeah, and actually, a lot of people come from all over the world to play in our college system to get ready to become pro.
Right.
And there's a big handful of people who have successful pro careers after a college tenure. So, I mean, it is really the real deal.
It really is. And actually, our really good friend, Matthew, he has a great YouTube channel that you can check out. So search Matthew Lin, Lin, and you'll see he and his dad record a lot of the college matches around Los Angeles, and you can see some of that there. Really, really well done. So highly recommend that, and shout out to Matthew.
Hi, Matthew.
Well, let's jump right into the AO because, wow, 2024, here we are knocking right on our door. And suddenly YouTube was flooded with a stream of blue pictures that are all the same AO color scheme, I was like, wow, lots of tennis to watch now.
Yeah, love it. So much going on, so many popping headlines. The draw, Rafa coming back, Rafa being out. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, and Osaka. I think they really built Osaka up, I felt like.
They really did. I picked her as a potential contender with a friend, and 10 minutes later she lost.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, good thing I didn't put any money on that. No.
Yeah. Shall we start with Osaka? Did you watch the match? Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
I did watch the match, and as a namesake compatriot, to my fellow Garcia, I do love Caroline Garcia, and she is a fun player to watch when she's on.
Right.
She's so intimidating, and she's such a great ball striker, such a great game, but she's so hit or miss. That it's like, okay, she honestly, I felt like she made Osaka, to me, look slow and rusty.
Yes.
And evident that she's just not yet ready to be at the same level as
especially
the tour.
In the second set. I mean, the first set, I felt like Osaka was toe-to-toe with her, right?
Yeah.
There were some moments there where you saw flashes of it, but yeah, I felt bad for Naomi to get Garcia in the first match, because I feel like Garcia is one of the top players. Not that maybe she's like a Stan Wawrinka as far as being able to get the trophy, but wow, what a ball striker, and so smart in the way she plays. And I was really impressed with her serve this tournament. I feel like she was serving really well.
Do you know she actually leads the tour, I think, like the last 2 years, and holding serve, her
Wow.
service percentages and her aces are generally like top 3, top 5 for
Wow.
at least the past year or two. I don't have the exact stat, but I know I've heard that because she's on it, and it's like, wow, it's something that I would never think of. I would think she would have a much better results, considering her serve is so reliable and dangerous, and then her return is so aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think she even breaks in like the top 5 as well. So, she's got the goods. I think it's the consistency, as we see with so many players on the WTA. There's probably 10 people we can, without even thinking very hard, we could just pick out who are like any given day. They can either wipe you off the court, but, they're not winning every title out there. So they're having those days where they're just spraying balls all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes you wonder, because we don't know them personally, but is it like emotional impulse control? Is it decision making? It's got to be mental, right? Because it's not that they don't have the physical skill. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if I feel like sometimes with it is mental, but I think that sometimes the mentality is, gosh, I can speak English. I'm going to blame my jet lag. For those of you who don't know, I've been
Welcome
traveling.
back.
I've been traveling, and so I'm going to blame jet lag. The mental aspect, I think, that is the weakness, is that the focus is hard to keep.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They cannot focus on the strokes. They cannot focus on the footwork to get into position.
Right.
And that's where they spray. And then there are other players who maybe it's not just that mentality, but it might actually just be like an Ostapenko type of player who's very similar, hits flat and hard and aims for lines, no matter if they're on or off. So they have just like, if they have an off day, everything's just going to kind of like fly. Or sometimes even it's like they have to play their way into a new court and new balls for the tournament. And best of 3 sets is not enough time for some people, and I think that's even what, to tie it back in with Naomi Osaka, is she shared that she was okay with drawing Garcia in the first round because she thought, like, if I can get through this test, not only for the confidence, but she'll really have played her way into form, and she'll feel so much more confident about her potential after getting through the rough first round. That didn't obviously happen. She couldn't. There wasn't enough time for her to play herself into form. So we're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer to see how her year unfolds.
Yeah, interesting that you're talking about Garcia also, because, and Ostapenko in the same breath, they they basically just finished the final of Adelaide. So Ostapenko won in 3 sets and really challenged Garcia. And that was kind of a surprise to me. I really think of Ostapenko as a big, heavy hitter, but I thought Garcia was kind of more wily, smarter, more crafty, and I thought she would be able to win. But yeah, unfortunately she lost. And again, is that a mental thing? You know, what happened there? Whereas when she played Osaka, very interesting that she actually never dropped serve. So you can't beat her, right? I mean, if she doesn't...
Yeah.
And
it wasn't even close. I mean, she was smacking down aces left and right.
Right. In
and
fact,
just unreturnables.
Yeah, in the whole entirety of the match, hour 26 minutes, Osaka never created a break point on Garcia's serve. Throughout the entire match. And that's why I was so impressed. And hearing the stats that you just shared makes total sense because, wow, she was hitting. And Osaka was serving very well, too. I mean, if any part of her game was strong, I feel like the serve was the strongest part of it. I thought she did really well. But by the second set, it really was like she was on her back foot. She couldn't.
Her backhand was just not there.
Spraying, right?
Yeah, and in the net a lot as well. I kept thinking, and I always thought of her as having a very reliable backhand, but I felt like it really let her down. Probably, I feel like she just wasn't getting into position. You know, she's a half a step too slow.
Right. Much more about her footwork than it is her actual stroke. Yeah, I'm sure the stroke is there. She just couldn't get there to swing it.
Yeah, it looked kind of how my backhand looks, you know.
Are you kidding? If my backhand looked as good as Osaka's, I'd be so happy. On her worst day.
Oh my gosh, I know I'm over here comparing. What a sin. I'm sorry, Naomi. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. You'll get there. You'll get there. You know who's somebody who had a layoff and came back. And whose backhand, I did not catch her match because I was fast asleep. But I have been hearing that it looks as spectacular as ever, is our very own Amanda Anisimova, who took an 8-month sabbatical for mental health. Yeah. And she's come back, and I heard she was just clean ball striking, beautiful backhand down the lines. And I'm glad that she made it through the next round so I can watch her next match because I do really appreciate her brand of tennis.
Yeah, I love that generation of young girls that were coming up that were hitting crazy hard, right? I mean, they all kind of came up at the same time. Sabalenka, Anisimova, Yastremska also won. And I consider her as part of that generation because I remember getting super excited about all these young girls who were hitting the snot out of the ball. It was just incredible how hard they hit. And just easy flowing strokes, right? Rybakina was also part of that generation. So I feel like, wow, this is really getting exciting, you know, when you see these kind of girls. And Sabalenka has changed from not only being a forceful player, but also a smart and consistent player, right? So very, very cool.
Yeah, and your girl Yastremska took out our reigning Wimbledon champ. I think she was the first seed out of the tournament, Vondrousova. So she would have been a projected quarterfinal match for Swiatek by seeding.
6-1, 6-2.
Now she's out.
I mean, it was a beatdown. And it didn't look like Vondrousova was, you know, so bad. It just looked like Yastremska was so good. She was hitting clean. So you got to think that means a good amount of training, good amount of preseason work, right, that they all have put in. And yeah, it's not so much for Naomi Osaka, unfortunately. But let's listen to Naomi Osaka talk a little bit about the loss and how she was feeling before and after. Here she goes.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. For me, I felt like I did the best that I could possibly do, and it was just really nice to be on Rod Laver again and hear the audience and how much they interacted with the match. That was fun. Yeah, yes and no. For some reason, like, I felt like the Pliskova match, well, I definitely had more break points, and I don't really think I had one in this match. And I also just feel like of course, the returns were really important, but I think I could have done a little bit more. This is my opinion from like baseline shots. I felt like I was kind of constantly on my back foot and really hesitant. I think it might be because I haven't played matches in a while, so I was a little bit like overthinking in my head where to go. But yeah, of course, I think that's something that'll come with time. But right now, it kind of sucks a little.
Well, and on the topic of mothers, we had another mother who won. Oh, not another mother who won, because we just talked about the mother who lost. But we have another mother who, coincidentally or differentially, won, and that is Gael Monfils' wife, Alina Svitolina. She got through the second round.
Svitolina is so inspiring to watch. I mean, she just fights and fights. She's a great player for sure, but I don't feel like, wow, she has so many weapons, but man, what fight and what consistency. Just really fun to watch.
Yeah, I think many analysts are projecting her to make a little run here. She's
Right.
not seeded, so I didn't see whose quarter she falls into, but I'm sure nobody wants to see her name floating around in the draw.
Right.
She's just, for the past several months, has really been on her game. And her husband, Gael, won.
Yes. Oh, that was a good match. But also that kind of gives you the luck of the draw as well, right? Svitolina had Australian wildcard player Taylor Preston. And you just feel like, gosh, if Osaka had someone that was a little bit more like a wild card, maybe it would feel a lot better entering into the tournament, right? Instead of like the finalist of the last tournament in Adelaide.
Yeah, someone who's completely in form, and she was at the WTA Tour Finals too, I think, this year. So you don't want to draw a top 10 player, but it is what it is.
It is, and it really makes a difference. Yeah. But let's listen to Svitolina. She was talking about how happy it is to win.
Yeah, happy to be back. Happy winning the first round again here. I mean, just happy with the way I started. The Australian Open, in general, just of course not easy at the beginning of the match, but then played quite solid. So I'm happy with the win today.
Child and
Sky is here with us, and it was a long trip from all the way from Europe, first New Zealand and now here. I'm happy that I brought her with me. I had some trips without her, like to Wimbledon, for example, to US Open as well. She didn't come, but now since she's already 1 year and 4 months, it's a little bit easier as well with the long flights, even though it was not easy for us because she got very sick the day before we left. So we had to push back the flight, and this kind of things that you do now these days, putting the priority of your child, is their life like this right now. But I'm so happy that that we decided to bring her here with us. We spent so much of nice time and really enjoyable time together. The weather is super nice. In Europe, it's a bit cold, snowing, so it's nice for her to be here, spend a lot of time in the park with my mom, with a nanny as well. So it is nice to have her, because when you are living for a very long time, it's difficult, I think, mentally. There is plus and minus, in this situation, but I feel like we made the right choice this time.
So yeah, so you mentioned Yastremska. Love watching her play. So glad she's back. Love the fact that she's Ukrainian, and she is very proud and supporting the cause there as well. But I mean, she's down to World 93 now. So for her to come back, it was a wild card, right, against Vondrousova. So very cool for her to just take Vondrousova out. Really exciting for her.
Yeah. Wild cards, I love when a wild card makes it count.
Yeah.
Or like a lucky loser. We had a lucky loser, I think, was put in place. Was Berg a lucky loser who got put in place for Berrettini to face Tsitsipas?
Oh, is that right? I'm not sure. That makes sense, though, right? Because Berrettini was in and then he was out. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So he withdrew from the tournament, I think the day before it started. And he was set in the draw to play Tsitsipas, which was one of those headline, oh my gosh, Berrettini, Tsitsipas. I mean, Berrettini, it seems like is kind of having a projected career of like a Del Potro, where there's just so much talent and pizzazz and like a very, very exciting and powerful game, but just cannot stay healthy to save his life.
Yeah. Well,
which is sad,
right?
Because he's fun to watch. He has had a lot of potential, and for the ladies and men who are and who are into it. I mean, the guy he's easy on the eyes,
Yeah. Is he still dating the other tennis player?
I didn't know he was. Oh, you know what? I probably knew and just pushed it out of my memory because I didn't want to know that he was taken.
I remember there was a long segment, I think it was Wimbledon, where they actually interviewed the two of them. She is from Australia, Alaya.
Oh, Ayla Tomljanovic. Oh, you're right. They were on the Netflix thing.
Yeah.
No, they ended a while ago. You're right. I should have known that. It's very famously known. Totally forgot. Yeah.
But as I'm looking at the website, I see People Magazine reporting that Berrettini's dating Melissa Sata, who I have no idea who that is. But
yeah, me neither.
I guess that's the new wag.
Yeah. So Berrettini was in, now he's out. Tsitsipas through to the second. We had Nadal who was in and then out.
Well,
so we're just gonna have to wait a little longer for his comeback.
What I love about that Tsitsipas match was Berg, is it?
Yeah.
He won the first set. So, I mean, everyone was really like, wow, here's this guy coming up. And he did that thing that people do, like when he won the first set, he was pointing to the ground like, right here, right now, this is it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And it was obviously a huge confidence builder for him. But then Tsitsipas goes on, and I think he wins the next three in like 6-1.
Oh, he took it personal.
So, he found his form and just went. But, how sad for the guy who's like, this is it right here, right now.
Well, he felt confident for a minute.
Yeah, just like me. I've had that experience. Like, here we go. I've got this. And then, no.
Nope, I don't got this. Send help.
Yeah, I thought that was a really fun moment to see and to watch. But he did play a very great first set, and obviously Tsitsipas, it's first round. You're warming up. You're getting there, right? So yeah, that was kind of fun. And I think, is he German? Berg is German.
Berg, I think, was German. Yeah.
Yeah, and so in the first round there was those two German guys. Hoffman was the other one. Both players that I didn't know, and I had the thought, wow, German tennis, like, hey, there's these new guys coming up, right? So whenever you see that, I feel like, wow, there's something happening in the tennis system in Germany to allow these young people to come up. And usually they come up in a group because they're all playing each other and they all help lift their level together, right? Which is really cool if you can see that. It reminds me of what happened in Sweden. And remember that podcast I did a long time ago with the head of Tennis Nerd, Jonas? But
yes.
he was talking about how in Sweden they all were coming up at the same time, and that they challenged each other, and that's what allowed them to win so many Grand Slams during that era of, it was either US or Sweden. So it was really cool. So it'd be cool to see if something like that is happening in Germany that allows these young kids to come up.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
Where's the
We had-
buzz in tennis, right? Where? And unfortunately, I don't see it in the U.S. Ben Shelton maybe is carrying the flag.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely all about the Ben Shelton. I have him marked on my Australian Open app as a favorite.
Yeah.
And I watched some of his match because he's not only is he, I guess, young and exciting and a American hopeful, but he has like an exciting brand of tennis. And I feel like he just looks confident, and that makes me confident in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get that same feeling when I watch Taylor Fritz. I think, dang, he's really talented.
Right.
He has the strokes. He has all of these puzzle pieces, but I don't get this like overwhelming sense of that he believes the way that I do with Ben Shelton. It's like an arrogance, like a hint of arrogance, but like for me at least, in an endearing way, not in a
Right.
get over yourself type of way.
Right. You're proud of him for
Yeah.
and his winning ways. That reminds me of the whole telephone thing that he did. Where he was like calling and then Djokovic like stole it and did it in his next match after he beat Ben Shelton, which I thought was rude, but
it's also like a huge compliment, right? I mean,
right, that
to
he
get
copied him.
Djokovic to like react like that, it means you must be doing something right.
Yeah.
It's like an
and that
imitation.
people are watching him, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
he's lowly compared to Djokovic. You would think that, Novak would come up with his own cool diss.
So I hope, with this being his sophomore year on tour, that he'll have some success. That not everything will be so new and exciting and maybe potentially draining or scary. But what always worries me with someone is like, then does the tour have time to catch up and figure out their game?
Right.
And whereas like their first year on the tour, they're kind of an unknown factor that no one has had time to figure out. And so I do really hope that he does have the goods the way that I think he does, and that he's able to have success this year, and that it doesn't turn into a case of like, oh, now everybody knows exactly, like, have they figured out his weaknesses,
Right.
his patterns on his serve, XYZ. So I'm wishing him a whole lot of good luck this year. And I hope he has a nice deep run at this tournament. That would be pretty exciting.
I hope so too. I'm really rooting for the Americans, and I think there were the three male Americans that won. Ben Shelton, Sebastian Korda also won his match, and then Chris Eubanks, who's really fun to watch also because he's almost a serve and volleyer a lot of times. And he also has that incredible one-handed backhand. So a lot of fun for the U.S. players. Let's see how far they go.
Yes. We shall see.
The person, unfortunately, that didn't go very far is Andy Murray.
Yeah. That was, I was expecting a 4 or 5 setter, and he just kind of really went down easy. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not nice. But, I mean, he went down with an easy-looking scoreline.
Yeah.
Looked like it was a pretty straight kind of outcome, Nothing to really write about.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if he talks about injury, because I think it was in the third set he actually was wincing and kind of holding his hip and kind of pushing at it like something was happening, and then pretty much after the rest of that match he was like drop shotting, doing short balls, trying to end the point early, not like hitting the ball hard, long rallies kind of thing. So I didn't listen to the press afterwards, but it seemed like he was, by the end, he was not playing regular tennis. He was playing like, I'm trying to survive tennis,
Gotcha. Well, I also did not hear his full press. I did hear a couple of analysts talk about the big headline that I heard of out of his press was that he did say this could very well be his last Australian Open. He was not trying to say yes or no, but he was like, yeah, I mean, he definitely was leaning towards, that he's reassessing his career on a daily basis always, and that it, due to the, I guess, outcome of the match, it didn't seem likely like he would be here next year. I am completely paraphrasing, so don't quote me on any of that, but that was definitely the gist, was that he, and I didn't hear any mention of an injury, but, a lot of times the players might not mention that right after a loss because they don't want to make it seem like they're copping out. I lost because I'm hurt, so maybe in 2 weeks or a week we'll hear, he's taking some time off to rehab an injury.
Yeah, I mean, the scoreline, 6-4, 6-2, 6-2, that he lost to 30th seed Thomas Martin Echeverry, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah.
And Echeverry was really playing well. I mean, he was striking the ball really well. But, I mean, for, 2017 Murray, this is an easy match, right? It's tough. It's tough. These guys are getting older and older. When I was looking at the Wawrinka Manarino match, I was like, this is like senior tour.
Yeah, right? It's the legends.
Because they've all been playing for so long, right? I think, is Wawrinka now 38?
Well, what's hilarious is that this is seniors tour, but then there's Djokovic, who's like 1 year younger than them, and he's out there, as about to win his 11th Australian Open. Although he, I didn't even think about watching his match because I thought he's playing a qualifier, or was it a wild card or a qualifier? But I just dismissed the up and coming Croatian Prismic. I just thought there's no chance. I woke up to all these headlines like, oh my gosh, Djokovic tested. Djokovic praising this, up and coming kid at, what is he, like 18 years old, I think?
18, exactly, yeah. He was really playing well. Speaking of age, I just wanted to get this in there that Andy and Novak are almost identical in age. They're literally a week apart.
Yeah.
And Murray is, I think, the 15th of May, and Djokovic is the 22nd. So they've been playing
Murray's
against each
1
other
week
all
older.
their life.
Yep. Yeah, they do have a pretty good, decent relationship. Of if we're gonna say a big four, which I can't stand saying, but I did. Of them, Murray and Djokovic were, the closest in age and kind of came up together, and they had a pretty good relationship.
Yeah.
They have a good friendship and relationship.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going.
Oh no, you're good, and I don't think that you did.
I wanted to talk about the Wawrinka match because I felt like it was Wawrinka's to win. It was really on his racket, but watching that, Manarino now is like kind of that pusher respect that you have to have. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, he is not hitting the ball really hard, but so smart and such crazy angles, and it's so interesting watching him play now. It kind of gives hopes to older people, I feel like, because when I watch him, I think, wow, like, you don't have to hit as hard as Wawrinka, but if you just keep putting it back, and then Wawrinka would miss something at the net, he would miss a down the line backhand just because he's going for too much, and it literally was like playing against a pusher at the 4.0 level. Not that their level was that low, but that kind of match. But Manarino keeps winning. He's doing so well at this level where he's changed his game, reinvented himself. I remember watching him play Federer, and Federer would just take him out. It was not even a contest. But I feel like he plays better now than he did before.
Yeah, and he's tricky, a lefty,
very tricky,
and also he does play tricky. And when you play like that, some people need pace.
Yeah,
they need that pace, and then you start throwing them balls where they can't get a rhythm. He is the type of person who won't give you rhythm.
Right.
and
changes it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see how, they could throw someone off. And sadly, I don't feel like Wawrinka's been, very competitive for a while now. I feel like so often I'm seeing him go out, early in tournaments. I just feel like he's really lost a lot of his edge.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I remember watching a special about Mannarino and how he had struggled with wrist pain a lot of his tennis life. And so he actually strings his racket like insanely low. I think it's like literally 20 pounds or 19 pounds he strings his racket.
Oh, and it helps? It's good to know. Maybe I need to do that. Help my wrist out.
I mean, people talk about trampoline when I string at 45. He's at 19. I can't even imagine what that's like. I should try it, I guess.
Yeah. You'll learn something. One way or the other, right?
It's just incredible that he can still control the ball, because they always talk about like the fishnet feeling, of the rack. It's similar to probably when you break your string and you lose your tension. It's probably like that.
Yeah, well, it would be.
19 pounds. That's just insane.
It is, and you have some other, I guess, let's say veterans. Well, you have one in Milos Raonic, who was also, kind of on the tour, and you wonder, is making a comeback and wondering if he's going to be, I don't know, a threat at all, right? Because with his serve, you never know. And he draws Alex de Minaur, the hometown favorite, the one who just beat Djokovic at the United Cup recently.
Oh,
He's
that
been
was
playing,
such a good
I think
match.
It was, and he beat Zverev, and I don't know, a couple other. I mean, he's just on fire lately. I feel like he's really unlocking new levels of confidence.
Right.
And he just kind of, he lost the first set in a tiebreak. Is that what happened? Going specifically off memory.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Milos. I mean, I don't know how much he's been playing and stuff, but he was just incredible in the way that he was serving and hitting forehands. You just feel like, wow, he's still there. He's still strong. He's still got it,
Oh, yeah. He retired in the match for an injury. I forgot that's how it went down, because he played well for a minute.
He did, yeah. I was really impressed, and I thought he could have pulled it off, but yeah, I think he's had a hip injury for a very long time, and so he's just been recovering for that, maybe trying to come back in. Unfortunately, yeah, he retired when I think it was 2 sets, right? At 2 sets, he retired, I think.
Yeah, he retired in the 3rd set. They were split a piece.
Yeah.
But, good luck to de Minaur. Hope he has a good tournament, since he's the hometown hero and favorite. Highest rank Australian, I'm sure. And then with another young veteran, Dominic Thiem, another comeback, right?
Yeah.
Another injury comeback, and draws Felix Auger-Aliassime in the first round. It's like,
one of my favorites.
Some of these draws, it was quite a juicy first round for a handful of the draw on both men and women's.
Yeah, I feel like that was a really good match, too.
Yeah, I completely missed it. So for those listening,
well, it went 5 sets.
Philip and I talked earlier, and I thought I told him that it went that Felix won in straight sets. So I went to sleep, and he's like, "No, I'm pretty sure it went to 5." So I was so out of it, and I was so convinced that Dominic had no chance. I just went to sleep thinking he clearly was going to lose.
Which is absolutely true in the first
wrong.
2 sets. No, in the first 2 sets, he was struggling. The first set he lost 6-3. So obviously he was struggling, and FAA was really strong. And then the second set, 7-5. I mean, maybe Dominic was growing in his feeling of the court and feeling of the ball. And then he actually took the next 2 sets. The third was a tiebreaker. So, it really shows you, wow, he's growing, he's getting it. And then he took the fourth. So, wow, here it is, 2-all. What's going to happen? But that's kind of when he ran out of gas. And also FAA really stepped up, was rock solid. And eventually the score was 6-3 in the fifth set. So, yeah, really great win for FAA. I feel like, wow, it's going to feel great because that was really tough to go.
That's a tough draw.
Tough draw.
That's a tough draw for your first round, yeah.
Yeah, and to go 5 sets and 5 grueling, hard, big hitting sets because Dominic was actually hitting the ball really well. It's just he didn't control it as much as you would expect, and that's where he is right now, right? I mean, he's got the goods, but can he win the match, right?
Yeah.
Let's listen to either of them talk right now.
Yeah, a lot of relief. It's crazy, these matches, you go through really all the emotions. It was great level, great match. I started well, and then it's a sport, sometimes it sucks. you're trying your best, and then he also, played well. He started well, and it was a struggle for me, but, at the end, I didn't want to fail mentally. I didn't want to disappoint myself with my effort. I didn't want to have any regrets leaving this court today. So, even it was frustrating the way it went in the third set. I thought, you need to be tough. You need to stay strong, and I'm happy I did because now I'm really happy.
Yes, it seems like we have the major headlines. The major headlines kind of have been discussed, at least in the first. We're 2 days in. We're on day 3. The Australian Open did add an extra Sunday this year, so it's a 15-day tournament now. I guess that's the trend. The slams are going to make more money, but I wanted to bring up one more person who won their first round match, and that's I think it's Alina Kornieva, and I could be pronouncing her name wrong, but she's a 16-year-old Russian who was a former junior Australian Open and Roland Garros champion. She actually beat Mira Andreeva in last year's junior final, and they won the final, or doubles, I think, together. So there was a lot of hype I've been hearing about her. So I was interested to see if she would do well in her first round, and she did, and that's very exciting because she beat no pushover in Sorribes Tormo after losing the first set. So she had the gumption to come back and win it in 3 at 16 years old. I just always a fan of these young up and comers, and interested personally anyway to see how Kornieva and Andreeva get on through this draw.
Yeah, I love Andreeva. I feel like she's so strong mentally. Like she can fight, even though you just told us that she lost against the other young player. But at least Andreeva did win her first match, and I felt like it was a very solid win against the U.S. player, Pera. Straight sets. So 7-5, 6-2, but loved how she played. She was just hitting the ball so well. She's another. I feel like she's a newer generation than the ones that I was talking about before, Yastremska, Sabalenka, but just hits the ball so well, moves so well. Really exciting. But her next match, Ons Jabeur.
Yeah, and actually, she thinks that she plays like Ons. So
really?
she's self-proclaimed as like considering herself to play in the style as Ons, and so that should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, she must look up to her then.
Yeah, so we shall see what happens. Actually, Andreeva, early in the year, I cannot remember the name of the tournament, but it's teams. It was like the eagles and the kites, and all I know is the team that won, I believe. Gosh, now I have absolutely no faith in my memory, but I'm pretty sure the team that won, it was Medvedev, Rublev, and Andreeva. And these teams, I mean, the teams we had Rybakina, we had, I think Swiatek played on one team. There was like all of these great, really established pro players, and Andreeva's like 16 and she's out there, mixing it up with everyone, and she did really well. And I thought, I was just really impressed with her. Her ability to play. I think she played some doubles with, gosh, I don't remember if it was Medvedev or Rublev, but it was really cool to see her playing mixed doubles. And just like learning, I imagine she probably gained so much from that event and getting to be around all these people and learn from them. I feel like it's very exciting to see these young people coming up with so much potential. So hopefully, I guess hopefully they stay healthy, number one, because I feel like I'm emotionally scarred from people like Andreescu, who like come up and they're so exciting. And then they just like can't stay healthy, so you never see them again.
Right.
You see them for a tournament and they like maybe have one win, and then they're hurt and withdraw. So all I wish for them is health so that we can enjoy watching their career blossom.
Yeah, I think there's that other 16-year-old too, Fruvertova. I don't know how to say her name.
Oh, is she 16?
I think so.
Fruvertova or something?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I feel like I've been seeing that name for years.
Yeah, her and Kornieva, I think, are the same age. And wow, it's cool that they both advanced. That's kind of amazing. I feel like there's such great breakthroughs on the women's side for young players. I don't see it at all on the men's side.
Yeah.
It's just
I feel
hard,
like the difference in the physical maturity is so much more apparent to the men, but that gentleman who took Novak to 4 sets, he definitely looked like a mature. His legs were massive. He had an adult body for an 18-year-old.
Yeah. I saw
male.
a headline. I didn't see Djokovic's press conference, but he said in the headline, it said, I felt like I was playing myself. And I could totally see that. He had a Djokovic style of defending where he could just get the ball back. And his backhand was very similar in style. So it was so funny that Djokovic recognized it in himself.
Yes.
Makes me think of the Korean player, too, who beat Djokovic in the AO, and he was literally a Djokovic copy.
Yes. Oh, gosh. And see, there's another person, so young, and he had full of potential. I remember when he beat Djokovic, everyone's just like so excited about his brand of tennis because he was a backboard.
Yes.
Couldn't get anything past him.
Yeah.
Just one more ball in play all the time. And then, where is he? He actually, I think he also has battled injuries for years,
Yeah. Foot, right? Remember he was...
Young? Was that?
Hei and Chung.
Chung,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He had lost to Federer and his feet were just like falling apart. They actually put a picture of it on Twitter. It was so nasty.
Okay.
Please.
It's honestly, I had a visual in my head right now.
I know. Please.
You
Why
just ruined
are you
my dinner.
This?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But it's so brutal, right? It's so brutal. Just incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, Valerie, you did a great job leading us through all of these highlights. Thank you. Love it.
Oh, you're too kind, Philip. I mean, so we have some projected quarters. We're not going to get Swiatek and Vondrousova because she's already out.
Darn it.
But we have potentially, look, Rybakina, however we want to say it, Pegula. Both of those ladies are playing pretty much in form this year. They've both been playing very well. So
Pegula
There's
just
there's
lost something though, and I was really surprised by that.
at the United Cup. At the United Cup,
yeah, she got taken out.
she did, and I was surprised about that too. But she won her previous match there, and I think she also played that other tournament I can't remember and did decent. I don't remember what it is, but I still back her
Yeah, still a top
to have a
player,
good
for
to
sure.
have a good run.
Yeah.
And that would be quite an interesting quarter. We have a potential Goff's Zachary, although Goff's next round, it's a juicy one. I don't remember, and I don't have the draw in front of me. I'm trying to remember. It's who she potentially plays.
Oh, it was Kazakina.
Is it?
Kazakina beat Pegula in the Adelaide, which was shocking.
Oh yes, but
What a
Kazakina's
huge
playing
win for
amazing
her.
right now, though.
Yeah, what a huge win for her. I was so
Yeah.
happy for her. I love her just because of her YouTube channel,
Yes.
which I watch religiously. So fun.
Yeah, it is a good one. It is a good one. I think if Goff wins her second round against Dolehide, she has the potential to play, I think it's Fernandez, if Fernandez makes it through. So that would be like a third round potential, which would be just exciting because two young people smacking it out. But Zachary, you wouldn't guess would make it to the projected quarter, considering she hadn't won a Grand Slam match in a year.
Wow.
So this first round win she had was her first Grand Slam win, and she went out in the first round at all the slams last year.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty crazy to think. So hopefully this first win just gives her some confidence and she can make a good run.
It's all about that confidence.
Yeah, right? And then we have potentially Jabeur and Sabalenka, who knows? But do you have anyone that stands out for you on the women's side, if you had to pick a winner?
I mean, my favorite, of course, is Rebecca. I mean, I just love watching her play. I think she just lost the last tournament. She
did, but I personally think she lost on purpose to save energy for the AO.
That's interesting. Yeah, so I feel,
because she just won the tournament before by kicking the crap out of Sabalenka.
Sabalenka, that was a huge win. Yeah.
Then she plays Adelaide and goes out in like the second or third round to someone she should not be losing to. And I do think she was just like, you know what?
Strategic, huh?
Yeah. Just was. I had already enrolled in this tournament, and so now I'm just going to show up, make an appearance, get some practice reps, but make sure to get to Melbourne with enough time to really prep for the tournament that matters.
Nice.
But, I could be wrong.
I mean, I feel like it's Swiatek's tournament to lose. It's hard court. She's going to play so well. I feel like she has Coco Gauff's number. If Coco Gauff gets to that place where she's in the final with Swiatek, that'd be amazing. But I think, for my heart.
Swiatek has quite a tricky first round. She plays a former Australian Open champion, Sophia Kenin.
Oh yeah, Kenin.
And then her second round would be the winner of Danielle Collins or Angelique Kerber, who are. Danielle Collins is a former finalist at the Australian Open, and Kerber's a former champion. So
Kerber's
actually,
so tricky.
Out of those four women, Swiatek's the only one who hasn't made a final at the AO. So it should be interesting if she can even actually just make it to round 3, based on obviously these people aren't in current form. Actually, none of them are.
Right.
But if they get hot, you just never know.
Yeah. Well, my heart says Rebecca. I would love to see her win. That would be super exciting.
Yeah. Well, I actually picked her as well. I do
Nice.
think she's in great form, and I do really think it's hers to win and lose. Like, she should be able to dictate that. Sabalenka.
Sabalenka is so upset. She wants it now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
After that beatdown, she's like,
Yeah, she's going to be hungry. And I
Yeah.
think, she has her game is just scary.
Yeah.
But mentally, if someone's just really hot, I feel like it just depends,
Right.
At any given day it could go, it's like kind of like a coin toss, but I definitely think those two should be the favorites to make it through.
yep.
Ooh, but there's so many exciting things, so who knows? And we have men. We have potential. These are seeded quarterfinal projections. Djokovic and Tsitsipas. Sinner and Rublev. And that's the top half. And the bottom half, we have Rune, Medvedev, Zverev, Alcaraz.
We didn't even talk about Alcaraz. We're talking about tennis. We didn't even talk about Alcaraz.
That's crazy. Well, he didn't play here last year, and the year before was like his super cameo. And he hasn't played his match yet. So, yeah, it's crazy. We haven't talked to him. And he hasn't played a warm-up event. Neither has Sinner. Neither has Medvedev, which is actually the first time for all three of them, that they haven't played a warm-up event. So we'll see what happens.
And you've got to feel like Novak, I mean, he is chasing history like nobody's business right now, right? I mean, he wants it so bad.
Yeah, he sure does. But sometimes I feel like that's what gets him when he doesn't get it. It's not anybody being better. It's him getting in the way of himself. Like he wants it too bad that he somehow screws it up.
Yeah. Very few people have a chance to beat him, though, in a 5-set. Very few. I feel like the list is so short. So
Yeah.
Alcaraz, maybe. Sinner, maybe. I think Sinner has beaten him twice now, of course, in shorter matches. But I feel like both of them are really growing in their skills. Super exciting to watch. I just don't think Tsitsipas can do it. Medvedev.
Yeah.
I don't think Zverev can do it. He's done it before at the year end, right? He beat Djokovic, but that was so long ago.
It was. He is quite in good form lately.
But Grand Slam form, final form, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put money on him.
Right.
Well, I mean, who would put money on anyone but Djokovic? But I actually do think Zverev is. I get this sneaky feeling he's going to win a slam this year. I just feel like he's
a slam. Wow.
Yeah, something. I feel like something big is coming from him, and I hope I'm wrong because I don't particularly. I don't even like saying his name. I don't think he should be on the tour right now.
I did see that his trial for abuse is set for May, so I wonder if that will screw up Wimbledon for him.
Yeah, who knows? I'm just I'm not a fan, but the guy plays some grade A tennis, and I do think he's hitting kind of a peak. He's nearing his best level of tennis that I've seen from him in the past before he got injured. And I just feel like he wants to be relevant, and he's worked really hard for it. And I actually just believe in his tennis, and think he might do some good things this year. But you're also talking about Zverev versus Alcaraz, right? Yeah, in a quarterfinal. But see, Alcaraz, he has all the goods. But I don't trust his health. I'm like, man, is this guy gonna pull a muscle and kind of have withdrawal, or I hope he does, because no. I hope he does continue healthy.
Right.
That was really worded poorly.
Yeah.
I do really hope he doesn't get hurt, and I hope he can stay healthy and he can. I would love to see like a Djokovic Alcaraz final.
Right. Everybody would.
Alcaraz Sinner final. Medvedev Djokovic. Medvedev Sinner. Any of those guys, I feel like really put on a show of just like mind-boggling tennis.
Yep. Good stuff. I feel like it's going to be a great tournament to watch for sure.
You think it's his to lose?
His to lose. I think Sinner is the dark horse, but that would be like a semifinal in that top half, right?
Yep.
Djokovic, Sinner. Wow. Can Sinner take him out in 5 sets? So interesting.
Yeah,
so interesting.
And is Djokovic's wrist really a thing?
Interesting.
Because there's that whole, he's had treatment on his wrist, and people say that it was a factor on why he lost to De Minaur.
Yeah.
My dog agrees. It's settled. His wrist is a factor. He's losing the tournament. No.
So fun.
It's dinner time. So the dogs are letting me know, hey, lady.
That's right.
Don't forget to feed us. And you know what? Swiatek and Kenin is on.
Oh, here we go then.
Oh my gosh, it started a while ago.
Valerie,
I can't believe.
End with some huge great news. Tennis Pal Chronicles has passed the 11,000 listen marks. So really exciting. Thank you to everyone who has listened to our episodes or our podcasts in any way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for your support. We would love to hear from you. Please send an email to aces@lovesetmatch.org.
You've got
so
mail.
Great to hear from you guys. And we're talking about going down to San Diego, which is, you said, next month?
Yes, it's the second to last week of February, I believe.
And if anybody's in the area, we thought it would be so fun to take you with us and meet you there at the tournament. Just hang out, have a really fun time together. We're planning to go. So if you're going to go, send us an email. Let's hear from you and let's hang out. Wouldn't that be fun?
You've got mail.
I think it would be great.
Super, super.
And there's I don't think they have the field who's going to be attending announced yet, but there's really great access to the players. It's a very small tournament in terms of it's the Barnes Center in San Diego Tennis Center, and it's very intimate. And I think last year when I went down there, I just walked in the front door of the little tennis center where they have a snack bar and a front desk, and Garbina Muguruza is standing right there.
Incredible.
And I'm just standing next to her trying to buy a soda. And it was it was fantastic. So, I saw Coco Gauff and her parents were there taking selfies with everyone, just as you walk in. It's very intimate. There's a lot of access to the players, and I highly recommend going. So
let's go.
Yes, meet us there. Don't be afraid to email Philip. He doesn't bite.
Let's do it. We should get go get a hotel and stay for 2 days.
Oh gosh, that sounds great.
Or Airbnb or something. Anyways, guys, send us an email. And first, you're going to send us an email. Second, please go visit Tennis Pal right now. If you haven't downloaded the app, download the app. Visit Tennis Pal, create a profile. Valerie and I are both on there. We'd love to get a message from you just saying hi. Love to give you a shout out also and say hi back. So let's connect. Be super fun. 2024, here we are. Let's go AO, right?
Woohoo! And we'll be back in 2 weeks for a review of all the results. Talk about our champions and the tournament headlines.
Thanks for listening, everyone. And may all your serves be aces.
Be aces.